So do you remember when vampires didn't suck?
Of course I remember when they didn't suck.
So like they were bad guys. They were living the curse. They were killing people.
Right. They weren't being softies and emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't sparkle in the sunlight.
Yeah, they weren't a emotional support animals.
Emotional support animal?
Yeah, right.
So, or at least they were a badass.
Yeah, and scary. They had the whole mystique of evil with them.
Yeah, they were scary or they were a badass. They were something. But vampires now are like these misunderstood creatures who are like semi-heroic now.
They're just misguided.
Yeah, whatever. So today we're going to talk about vampires that don't suck. Right after this.
Welcome to Whiskey Pop. I'm Zane.
And I'm Jeff.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about vampires that don't suck.
So this is vampires that don't have fangs?
No, this is vampires whose teeth are a little sharper than modern day vampires.
I like it.
Exactly. So, I mean, we've gotten to a point where vampires tend to be kind of lame.
They have become more and more lame.
So, vampires is a huge part of our pop culture.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you start talking about Halloween stuff, vampires, honestly, I would say is like...
Number one?
Number one.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's the first thing you think of.
Yeah.
And they're in everything, and they're everywhere. I mean, hell, think about it. There's Grandpa on the Munsters.
Yeah.
He's a vampire. There was even blaxploitation Blacula.
Blacula, right?
They're on cereal boxes.
Yeah, Count Dracula.
That's right.
Sure.
They're in Sesame Street.
Yeah.
I mean, even vampires, slayers. Like,
right. The Frog Brothers or whatever.
Yeah, the Frog Brothers. Yes!
Yeah, right.
Way before Buffy.
Oh, I see where you were going.
Yeah, it's awesome though, too.
I'm off the rails.
And, okay, so also some really famous people have become famous because they played vampires. So, like, Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, of course.
And Christopher Lee from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ironic things of, like, how many times do the same people play vampires even?
That's right. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, Bela Lugosi, he was Dracula, I don't know how many times.
Same with Christopher Lee. I mean, it was, like, a dozen times or more, maybe?
Yeah,
even?
exactly. And these names become synonymous with that character.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, you might say they almost kind of got pigeonholed into playing that character all the time. But
yeah,
I even heard some of those guys love playing those characters more than any of their other parts they ever played.
Oh, that's
Which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So today, I think we need to talk about what we think, Whiskey Pop here, are the best vampires of pop culture.
All right. Well, if we're going to do that, shouldn't we do something first?
Blah, I think we need some whiskey. Blah, blah.
Aha! That's a good idea. So, if we're going to talk about vampires and have whiskey, what are we drinking today?
It's funny, we're talking about blended whiskey by the Shinobu.
Shinobu.
The Shinobu. The Shinobu.
No, yeah, today is going to be fun. This is a Japanese whiskey, Scotch.
It's Scotch. It's just not made in Scotland.
Yeah, but it's straight up, that's basically what it's going to be. So, I'm excited to review this one.
I am too. I can't wait to try it. Actually, it looks like possibly somebody broke into this bottle already.
Look, just because there were two fellas
that decided to maybe review it early,
that does not mean it's not worth reviewing later.
That's right. So today we're going to review it, even though somebody broke into it already.
All right.
So let's do this,
Let's do it. I'm ready to try this.
I'm ready to try this. Let's do this, right?
All
right. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you got? You pickles?
We're cheating.
Oh, no, he's got pickles again.
We're cheating. But yeah, no. Behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's a little briny.
There's briny.
Yes.
That's definitely for sure.
So,
I didn't pick that up the first time, though.
Let's try it.
All right.
The Scotch.
It's a Scotch.
A little peaty.
It's the back end. I feel like if anything still retains the flavor of a brine, maybe it's the back end, but It's almost all wrapped up for me in the smell.
Yeah, I think the nose is more of the briny part.
Yeah,
I don't think you taste that brine when you start to drink it. It's definitely more of probably a little subtle blended Scotch. This is kind of a super smooth, Scotch, even though it's a whiskey.
Right.
But so is Scotch.
So tell me again about the barrel on this one.
So it's made in what they're calling Mizuna, and if I get this wrong, hey, you guys can correct
I'll
us
help you with
online.
it. It's Mizunara.
Mizunara oak trees. So I guess these are like 200-year-old trees before they cut them down and put them in the barrel.
Which is, that's interesting.
That's crazy in itself, right?
Yeah.
Now I would suspect that oak trees tend to be long-lived, so probably that's not as rare as we might think. But I wonder what that has a bearing on with the flavor. So now, one thing we can mention is, as much as we would like you to like and subscribe to our channel.
Oh, sure, of course.
At the same rate, we're going to start implementing a new part of our series called Second Pour. And so, if you want to know more about this whiskey specifically, later after this episode will be an episode where we go into a little further depth about this whiskey. So, if you want to know more about the Shinobu blended whiskey, or
how not to pronounce everything we just said,
Mizunara oak trees, and all those things, hey, be sure to check that out as well. But most importantly, like and subscribe, right?
Yeah.
It really helps out a whole lot. So so the important stuff, vampires.
All right, are we talking specific vampires?
I think we're talking specific vampires. We can't put them all in a pot and say that's the best vampire. We got to be specific. So I think what we should do is do our top 10.
Okay.
Our top 10 best vampires.
So you start. With
so number 10, I would say, and we argued about this one.
It's way past number 10, but I don't care.
I don't think it is past number 10. I watched this movie this week just to verify, but it's Lestat de Lioncourt.
Okay, you're talking or is it
The Vampire Chronicles, the Interview with the Vampire movie.
Right.
And
Tom Cruise at that age.
It's still an overactor, even at that age.
Yeah, but it did give you a better sense, I thought, of that eternal side of what vampires are. He was almost too pretty, too young.
And and then the plus side to that, I will say, for this vampire, he was a badass because he did what vampires did best. Murder people.
And he did it.
He loved doing it. I mean, he looked at people as a fine wine to drink.
Yeah. So then we go to number 9.
Number 9 would be, this is funny, this character was created in 1969. 69 being the key term here. This is an adult channel, so just to make sure we're all verified on that. Who do you think a vampire?
Let me guess, it's also involved in a very successful comic book line.
That's true.
And art style.
That's true.
Some of it actually drawn by Frank Frazetta.
That's true too.
So we're talking Vampirella.
That's right.
It's that whole genre of the sexuality of vampires.
Yeah, she definitely holds true to that. Now, and she is kind of the heroine type kind of vampire.
Absolutely, yeah.
But in the same rate, her impact in pop culture, especially in comic books.
Oh, it's huge.
And that's the thing with us here. It's not always about movies and TV. Sometimes we're comic book geeks.
Yeah.
So, she fits that mold of badass vampire.
Yeah, no, and she is the good guy. It works.
Yeah, I think so.
There's still, like I said, a huge following for her.
Yeah, they've done tons of crossovers too. So there was Batman and Vampirella crossover.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was huge successful back then. Okay, so our next character.
Okay, number 8.
Number 8. Now, this has a very successful franchise as of recent.
Okay.
It's been mainly in movies. It did kind of set the tone for vampires, I think, in modern times.
Gotcha.
And that would be Underworld's Celine.
Yeah. Well, that whole series goes back to playing on the quintessential monster feuds. And that's why it's intriguing into itself. We're talking Lycan, aka werewolves,
and vampires, which they do hate each other.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at some of the old black and white Bela Lugosi werewolf thing, vampires tended to be kind of in control of the werewolf.
Yeah, a little bit.
But they didn't want to be, so they're kind of enslaved to, Dracula.
And there's a ton of people that cosplay those movies.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and so the Underworld stuff is it's successful when you can have that many movies made.
Or was it 4?
Yeah, I think it's
4 or 5.
Last movie was
Yeah, last movie was horrible.
It was fun, except the inconsistencies
Yeah, it's
of
all
their
over.
strengths and powers.
It was all over the place.
Really bothered me.
Now,
I'm just saying.
this is one of the few times you actually get to see a vampire carry around some of the badass guns that you've ever seen.
Sure.
I mean, her guns were pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I mean that side of it's pretty neat, and that's a different take on how.
And it's a different take because normally we see vampires just blah 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 and then killing people. Completely
really bad
different direction.
Romanian act. Going on to number 7.
So number 7. Okay, so this character's been around since 1973, so he is as old as I am.
Right.
And with that being said,
He's one of the first comic book
another comic book character, right?
to hit the silver screen.
But then in the late 90s, it came out with its own movie franchise and its own tax evasion. So yeah, what we're talking about is
Blade,
right?
Of course.
Okay, so when the first Blade movie came out, I was never a huge fan of Blade in the comic books.
No.
He was kind of the side character.
Yeah, it was not a thing.
He's like the B and C role of superheroes.
Yeah.
So, but in the movie, Wesley Snipes owned this character, and it made me really love the movie side of this character.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It goes to that whole action movie genre.
Oh yeah.
But then they pull in, the mystique of the vampire stuff.
And I think that was the coolest part. You could kind of get to see what vampires were like day-to-day activities.
Yeah, and it was neat. It's like, because it did take that mystique into modern times.
Yeah.
But this was before, obviously, the Underworld stuff.
Oh yeah, it was.
And so it was their concept of how modern vampires would survive today, and then
and how they stayed hidden.
Yeah.
They didn't just go out there and just murder tons of people.
Right.
But it opens up where these people show up to a club underground, and everybody's a vampire in there, but them. And then Blade shows up, kicks everybody's ass, and they run out screaming and scared to death because he is the vampire hunter.
And he has cool gizmos. He basically has.
It's like Batman for vampires.
He basically has the glaive from Krull that he can throw.
Yeah.
He has those.
He's like vampire Batman, with his little utility belt.
Yeah. And his sword is awesome. It's a katana that if you don't know how to turn off its traps.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so our next one. Okay, so this one is very near and dear to our hearts because it's on a subject we've actually talked about.
Yes.
So it's Count Von Count.
It is the menacing puppet.
All right, one whiskey.
Look, Muppets are amazing, and puppeteers know how to have fun.
Yeah, and so it's like pop culture at its most early stage. So it's like let's break kids into pop culture with vampires by making a vampire a character on Sesame Street.
Well, he's clearly based off of either Christopher Lee's type characters or Bela Lugosi's. It's Bela Lugosi.
Well, clearly he's Bela Lugosi.
He's Bela Lugosi. I mean, he's Bela Lugosi in Muppet form.
Now,
which is funny to think about.
Is Count Von Count a badass? Yeah, I mean he's good at math.
That guy can count like no one's business.
That's right. And if you don't think the Count from Sesame Street doesn't count, I say he does count. Okay, so it's funny because we're gonna roll from Count Von Count
because he's number 7 on our list, right? Or is he 6?
He's number 6.
Yeah, so he's higher than
he's higher than Blade, Celine, Vampirella.
What is wrong with us?
Come on, man! It's a Muppet. Muppets always somewhere.
Yeah. We gotta.
So this is the one that's going to cause people to question.
Okay, let's do it.
But I dare you to get in the comments and tell us why and give us a good excuse, because I promise you at the end of the day, you as well as the rest of us understand that this character probably is more ingrained in us than Dracula himself.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's Count Chocula.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who wait till this time of year to make sure they can get their box of Count Chocula cereal.
Yeah.
Grown ass adults. We're not talking kids don't give a shit. It's us.
And that chit is spelled C-H-I-T.
That's
chit.
right. I mean, because think about it. Gen Xers love Count Chocula.
Yeah. I think it goes back to that kind of like previous episodes where we talked about the importance of that Saturday morning experience, right?
Yeah, it's something you have in you, right?
Right. So for us, that you and me and Jeff, we all know that there's a special thing with Saturday morning cartoons and our cereal boxes.
It's just a special moment.
And so Count Chocula supersedes a lot of other Dracula type characters because he was available to us as kids.
Exactly right. And on top of that, think about it. Do you get nostalgic feelings when you think about Celine?
No.
Those are not the feelings I get.
That's not nostalgia.
And you get nostalgic feelings about Lestat? Or how about even Vampirella? I mean, at the end of the day, you think about Count Von Count, Count Chocula. These are the type of characters you think about when you think about it right now. If I said the word Dracula, what's the first character that comes to mind? Then what's the second? I promise the first one's Bela Lugosi's Count.
Probably.
And the second one is probably Count Chocula or Count Von Count.
It could very well be.
I mean, think about it. These are the guys who made a serious impact on pop culture in the way we eat, in the way we learn. I mean, Bela Lugosi didn't teach us how to count.
No, we just ran him.
And he didn't sell, and Celine didn't sell cereal, so I mean.
No.
Okay, so before I go to this one, I have to point out, so Blade was created in 1973.
Okay.
Count Von Count was created in 1972. Count Chocula's Count was 1971. This one was created in 1972. There must have been something in the 70s in the water.
There had to have been
To
something.
make vampires on everything, right?
All right, hit me up. What is this?
This one I recently rewatched because I hadn't seen it since a teenager, and it has to go on the list because it is a quintessential, perfect pop culture vampire.
Yeah, okay.
It's Blacula. But Blacula. Dude, okay, so I remember watching it as a teenager.
I remember watching it.
And let's be honest, it's had a lot of parodies done.
You know what? And I think this is part of the cultural issue that my rememory is what I want to call it. And I'm glad you brought that up. Is I think I remember the parodies more than I remembered the movie.
Right.
So that I was just thinking this is just a shtick type of a movie.
Right, and it takes away from the movie itself. Yeah. The thing with Blacula, I think, was he's been kind of like he became like the joke of vampires, right? But that's not true. I mean, this character, if you go and watch, I dare you to go and watch Blacula. I know it's on Prime right now. Amazon Prime has it right now.
Okay.
Go and watch it, and watch it with a new set of eyes outside of all the parodies you've ever seen with vampires. And especially with Blacula. And you think about it, this is 1970s.
Yeah.
This is blaxploitation, so there's not a lot of studios supporting, blacks to make movies.
Right.
So they are coming up with this money by selling grandma's house. All these things, this is all that stuff we could talk about in that, but this is a movie on a very low budget, shoestring, and they still pulled it off. And some of these actors are well-known actors from that era.
And that's why you're pulling it higher on the list, is because it's not just giving lip service. It's actually legitimately a fun, good movie.
It's a fun, good movie. Now, is it super serious? No. Is it acting over the top as far as is it worth an Oscar? No.
None of these that we've been talking about is worth an Oscar.
That's right, exactly. Vampire movies aren't get Oscars. I mean, come on. But as far as pop culture impact,
yeah, that's good.
I think it's big.
All right, so what's our next number?
We're down to the top 3.
Okay.
So I know that you and I consider this movie one of the best vampire movies of all time.
Yeah.
And it was done in 1989, 88, somewhere in there. So don't quote us on it, because I didn't go back and look at this, because I don't care. It's a great movie. And it's got one of the best saxophone solos of all time in it.
No, it's not one of the best. It is the quintessential saxophone solo that has ever been.
I mean, you hear this saxophone solo, you immediately think about this movie. So the movie we're talking about is The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God. It's so great. David, the character David.
Yeah, the character. And that's who we're pointing out in this movie is the best vampire.
He's the best vampire, in my opinion. Is the best modern, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because that'd be modern.
Yeah.
Vampire that's ever been. Not because of it. He didn't do that much.
No.
It was the swagger.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It was the swagger.
Kiefer Sutherland's swagger in this movie is huge.
and it was so mysterious the way they did this movie.
Yeah.
You felt like there's something wrong here. You got all those emotional responses.
It's wrong, but at the same rate, you almost kind of I want to be one of those guys.
Well, yeah.
I want to go pick up people at a carnival and suck their blood and drop them off at the beach.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
And no, but on top of that, it has one of the best lines of any vampire movie of all time. It happens at the final scene of the movie where Grandpa opens up the refrigerator, he pops out a pop, and he opens it up and he takes a drink. The one thing I always hated about Santa Clara is all the goddamn vampires. And he shuts the door, and that's the end of the movie. It's
yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. This movie is great.
And what's funny is the guy following Instagram, 8bits, he actually has t-shirts now that says, welcome to Santa Clara. It's like you visited Santa Clara. I'm like, I gotta buy that shirt. So that shirt's gonna show up on here at some point.
That'd be great.
Okay, so number 2.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, so this is one of those ones where we have to encompass everything into one pile because there's just so much of it. But obviously, you can't say every great vampire of all time without talking about the ultimate vampire of all time, Count Dracula.
We're talking about Dracula.
Dracula. So there's lots of them, right? So we have like Bela Lugosi's Dracula, which is one of the best.
Yeah.
It's 1931, and still today, it's probably one of the best, greatest movies of all time. You have Christopher Lee at any time when he played Count Dracula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you have, later on, you have Francis Ford Coppola, who did, what is it, Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Bram Stoker's
Which is closer to the original.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary Oldman playing.
Gary Oldman's Dracula is like one of the best on-screen performances.
And it's parodied more than any of the other guys nowadays, I think.
Yeah.
You know, how many times you see, like, even The Simpsons have done, like, the wig with Mr. Burns had the wig. And
yeah,
then,
of course. Yeah.
But, I mean, how creepy is it when he's shaving and he gets the blood on his and he's like, ugh. I mean, come on.
It's just too much. It's
You're
too,
like,
it's too fast. It's just too, oh my God.
And you're like, man, as far as creep level goes, I would not jack with that Dracula.
No, I wouldn't either. And that is what sells it. I mean, of course, this is like, we're talking like, why, you want to say the original pop culture Draculas are the ones based on this.
And it's funny because up to that point, I dare say that Bela Lugosi was my favorite Dracula. Up to that point, Christopher Lee was great.
Yeah, of course.
But when you get to Gary Oldman playing that character, even as an old man vampire, I'm thinking, that bitch probably could eat your lunch so fast.
Yeah, you knew you were dealing with something that was outside of your scope.
He's got popsicles in the cellar, but it ain't the kind of popsicles you're gonna want.
I'm gonna get some pops.
Get some popsicles in the cellar.
Yeah.
Go down there.
So yeah, I think a number 2 for the Prince of Darkness is pretty great right there.
So our viewers are probably asking, who the hell would you put at number 1 over Count Dracula? But come on, this is, once we tell you this, it's so easy. I mean, because, and if you're not aware of this, I start to question why you're even on this channel.
Yeah, no, really.
I mean, why are you watching the pop culture channel? Because this is huge.
Yeah, the number 1.
Number 1 would be Nosferatu from 1922, which is Count Auric.
Yeah, it is. Even if you watch it today,
it's creepy.
It's creepy.
It's a silent film. You don't need sound.
Yeah.
It literally, there's like so many scenes in this movie that are so well set up to cause you the heebie-jeebies as far as that goes. It's just an incredible film, and it's 1922.
Yeah, the cinematography is amazing.
This is back when they gave a shit about
cinematography. Definitely, for sure. And it is the birthplace of
the vampire.
All the vampires, especially when it comes to cinema.
I think every vampire movie from that point was based off that movie.
Yeah.
At least in the first 30 years.
You know, if you see a still shot of Nosferatu, you might be going, oh, that's dumb looking.
Yeah, watch
But when
it.
you see him in action, that's where it really, I mean, it's got a creepy vibe.
It's just creepy. And so, I mean, it had to be number 1.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's got these bald head, pointy ears. It never, at any time, is that vampire ever attractive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like dead straight gonna eat you for lunch.
Yeah.
So I got to thinking, this is a vampire episode, right? I mean, what goes good with vampires is blood.
Yeah, okay.
So I thought we'd make some Bloody Marys today.
Oh, God.
But, you know, vodka goes in Bloody Marys.
Okay, I was getting ready to say, we're not using...
This is whiskey pop.
Yeah, okay.
So I think we're gonna make...
Oh, we are doing whiskey.
We're gonna make Bloody Barons. Or Bloody Bourbons.
Bloody Bourbons?
Bloody Bourbons. So join us right after this, because we're gonna make Bloody Bourbons.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna make Bloody Bourbons, right?
Bloody Bourbon. I gotta quit.
No vodka in this.
No vodka.
We're putting bourbon. Actually, we're gonna put some Bullet rye.
Nice.
So I think, you know, Bullet's not a bad rye, and rye tends to be a little spicy. So I figured for our bourbon goes, we gotta do rye. So the first thing that's gonna go in there, obviously, is
the lime.
The lime.
Yeah, we gotta have the lime.
Gotta squeeze the lime in there. So we're gonna put the lime in there.
Nice.
Ooh, lime all over the place.
It happens. Lime happens.
And then the quintessential.
Yes. Oh, it's.
Did you hear that? Hang on, let's do that again. Hang on. Oh, yeah. So it's a little Bullet rye. So we're gonna put 2 ounces in there, right?
I would think so. Let's jig that straight in there.
So we'll just kind of go.
One.
You want to try to use the skeleton hand to put it in?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
That'd be kind of cool, right? Hang on, let me put it in the jigger. I'm going to put it right here. Grab with the hand. You got it?
I've got it.
Okay, here we go.
I've got it.
Oh, look at that. Like a pro. Like a pro. Ever done that before?
Oh, I don't think we did.
Hey,
that's new.
We got a little Worcestershire.
Hey, you want me to pour that?
Why don't you put the little Worcestershire sauce in there? All right, and then just a dash. It's good. A little bit of hot sauce.
Oh yeah, that's a must. We're talking, you know. Yeah.
A little bit dab there and there. All right, a little bit more. Ooh, that's gonna be some spicy stuff, man. And then, of course,
the mix.
A little zing zang Bloody Mary mix.
There we go.
To make our Bloody Bourbon.
Yeah, it's a Bloody Bourbon.
A Bloody Bourbon, all right? And it's morning, right? So
yeah,
we decided to shoot this episode in the morning, specifically to make it maybe a bloody breakfast bourbon, you know? Right?
Yeah, I like that idea. Bloody
breakfast bourbon.
How many bees can we put in this? Yeah, all right.
So now we got to do the quintessential shake it up.
Yeah, but you gotta add the ice.
Oh, I'm glad you remember that.
That's why I'm here, folks.
That's why. So hey,
that's why the scientists.
We got ice.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, the ice is it. I don't even know if that's gonna shake. That's pretty full, but we're gonna find out.
It will shook.
All right, put the lid on it because we make messes here. And
oh yeah.
You hear that? Shaking breakfast right here.
Hey, if this is how you have your breakfast in the morning, comment below.
Yeah. Yeah. How often do you have a bloody bourbon?
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, we need glasses. We got any glasses? So we don't take all the extra fiber.
Fiber with it? Yeah, sure.
Oh, look at that.
That
looks pretty good, right?
Smells good.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge fan of Bloody Marys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's.
So it's gonna be, and you gotta have one of those tree-looking celery sticks.
That's just for aesthetics.
And there we go, right? That's it, right?
That is not it.
Oh, that's not it. Oh, you know what? This is whiskey. We're probably gonna need, you know what? Okay, what usually goes in there? Like pickles?
Pickles.
Pickles,
yeah.
And also we'll put a little pickle in there. There's a little pickle. And maybe an olive. A little olive in there.
Yeah, that'll work.
Pickle and an olive. Okay, we'll just stick that in there. Okay.
Now we're talking.
Now we're good, right? That's it, right?
Except it's really not breakfasty.
It's not very breakfasty. Hey, what goes good? You know what goes good with breakfast?
Yeah, I do know.
A waffle.
And what else goes good with waffles?
Well, I usually tend to go for donuts myself, so.
Ooh, that's a good idea, actually.
How about
yes,
a nice little chocolate Long John? Long John.
That's a fried donut.
Oh, well.
What about the classics?
Like a cake donut?
Yeah, a cake donut.
You got that too.
Yes.
Oh,
we almost lost that.
Almost went on a donut express on that one.
That's pretty good. Well, that's looking pretty excellent.
It looks pretty good, but man, normally they have like meat and stuff in these things.
Yeah, they usually do.
What can we? Oh, I got an idea. All right, how about a breakfast sandwich? How about a sausage, egg, and cheese?
Oh, there we
biscuit?
go. That's the ultimate.
I mean, that's got to go in there, right? So we'll just kind of stick that right there in the middle. All this stuff will give it a good support. And there we go. How's that?
You need a straw, bro.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Now we got, hey, you know what? I thought about this, right?
You bear.
So I just so happen to have two of them.
Oh, yum.
Look at those.
Yum.
All right, so you know, it was vampire episode. We made some bloody bourbons. We said we try these, see how they taste.
All right.
Woo! A little hair of the dog. Ooh, hang on.
You know that part where you put too much Worcestershire
sauce. Woo! I'm so pretty spicy. I feel like it's dangerous. I feel like I'm gonna get staked by the steaks.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if I can do another sip.
Oh yeah. You know, it's probably a good idea to do it with the pointy side down.
I didn't realize Worcestershire was so strong.
Worcestershire.
Well,
you know what? That's not bad. I think I'm probably gonna eat my breakfast sandwich. So you know what, guys? Thanks for joining us this week. Hey, be sure to check out later this week as we do the continued review on the whiskey we had today.
Yeah, for sure.
Be sure to like and subscribe and watch some of our other videos that might come up like here and here. In the meantime, hey, you guys have a geeky, great week, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Cheers.
Too much Worcestershire.